Precipitation. Introduction. Can you tell? Observe the given pictures. A sentence describing the picture has been given. You describe the picture by writing some additional sentences. Discuss the questions. The blades of grass look like this on winter mornings. Where does the water on the blades of grass come from? Snow is found everywhere in the winters in Kashmir. Why isn't snow found in our surroundings? Generally, it rains between June and September in our region. How do the rain droplets form? In London, there is fog like this till the afternoons in the winters. Why don't we have fog like this till afternoons in the winters in our region? Sometimes, hailstones destroy the standing crops in the fields. Why don't we get hailstones frequently? Geographical explanation. 70.8% part of the Earth's surface is full of water. The distribution of this water is very uneven. At some places, the water storage is limited, while it is ample at other places. We see or experience the different forms of condensation as shown in these pictures. These forms of condensation occur due to the water vapor in the atmosphere. As the atmospheric conditions change, we see changes in the forms of condensation. On winter mornings, we find dew. In areas located at higher altitudes, snowfall occurs, while it rains in other places. Some places experience dense fog, while some experience hailstones suddenly and face crop destruction. Precipitation. Water falls in the solid or liquid state from the clouds to the ground. Snow, hailstones, rainfall are the major forms of precipitation. Snow. When the temperature in the atmosphere falls below the freezing point, water vapor directly turns into snowflakes. This is called sublimation. Here, the vapor in the form of gas transforms into solid snow. Precipitation in the form of solid particles of snow is known as snowfall. In high latitudinal and temperate regions, snowfall occurs at the mean sea level, while in tropical areas, snowfall occurs at places located higher than the snow line altitude. As snow is in the solid form, it does not flow like water. Layers of snow get deposited. When the snow accumulates on a large scale, then the transport and communication system of that area collapses. People living in those regions have to protect themselves from frostbite. When the snow melts, the region gets water. Do you know? There is a difference between ice and snow. In areas located at higher altitudes and high altitudes, where the temperature are below 0 degrees Celsius, precipitation occurs in the form of snow. Snow is friable and opaque. This snow accumulates in the form of layers on top of each other. Because of the pressure from the upper layers, the lower layers of the snow become homogeneous, massive and transparent. Massive transparent snow formed in such a way is called ice. When the temperature drops below freezing point, a layer of ice forms on the lake's surface and this layer floats on the surface of the reservoir. this ice is not related to snowfall directly. Hail. When there is a lot of heat on the Earth's surface, the upward airflow blows at a greater speed. Because of this upward flow, the temperature of the air reduces and the condensation of the water vapor takes place. Dark clouds are formed. Because of the upward movement of air, these water droplets go to a higher altitude. Here, solidification of these droplets occurs and hailstones are formed. As hailstones are heavy, they fall towards the ground, but because of the frequent upward flow of air, they are repeatedly taken upwards. Here, a new layer of snow encapsulates the hail. This happens quite a few times. Hence, concentric layers are formed while the hail grows in size. These big heavy hailstones fall rapidly to the ground because of gravity. We call the precipitation of this type as hail showers. Because of hail, crops may get destroyed and loss of life and property may also occur. Think about it. We use a raincoat or umbrella to protect ourselves from rainfall. What will you use to protect yourself from severe hailstorms? Hails occur in summers in India, Africa, and in some parts of Southeast Asia. Hails do not occur in equatorial areas because of the heat in the atmosphere. Hails do not occur in cold zones because of lack of upward flow. Let us make rain. Try this. Gather the following materials: a vertical glass container with metal lid, nail, hammer, hot water, ice cubes, and handful of salt. Take the container with the metal lid. Remove the lid. Hit the lid on the upper side at a number of points with a nail and the hammer. Take care that the lid does not get any holes because of this. Fill 1/3 of the container with steamed water, remember not boiled. Now put the lid on the container and close it tightly. Take care that the steam in the container should not go out. On the lid, put ice cubes, handful of salt and little water. Observe the container. Experience rain. Note: it may take 10 to 15 minutes for rain to occur. As the vapor in the container is light, it travels upwards. As the lid is tightly closed, the vapor cannot escape. Because of the ice cubes above the lid, condensation of the vapor occurs. Consequently, water droplets formed from the vapor accumulate on the inner side of the lid. Because of the punches on the lid, these droplets gather together and fall down as drops. During rainfall, a similar process happens in the atmosphere on a large scale. Rainfall. We generally get water in the form of rainfall. The temperature of the air with water vapor reduces when it goes higher. Condensation of the vapor occurs. Clouds form when the condensed water droplets and dust particles accumulate. The water droplets increase in size. When they cannot float in the air anymore because of their weight, they come down as rainfall. Convectional rainfall. In equatorial areas, the surface gets heated because of the sun's heat and the air near it also gets heated. As it gets heated, it spreads and becomes lighter and moves upwards. The air cools down when it goes upward. The moisture holding capacity of cold air is less. Consequently, condensation of the water vapor occurs and rainfall occurs. In equatorial areas, such a type of rainfall occurs almost daily in the afternoons. Rainfall is accompanied by lightning and thunder. The Congo Basin of Africa and the Amazon Basin in South America experience conventional rainfall. Such a rainfall occurs in a very limited area in the world. Think about it. Because of the convectional process, such type of rainfall occurs in the afternoon in equatorial areas. But why doesn't it rain in the afternoons in the oceanic areas of equatorial belt? Orographic rainfall. Winds coming from lakes or seas are moisture-laden. They are obstructed by the high mountain ranges coming in their way. They start going upwards along the slope of the mountains. The temperature of these winds drops and condensation occurs and rainfall takes place. Thus, because of the obstruction of the mountains, this type of rainfall occurs. The windward side of the mountains gets more rain. Amount of vapor in the air reduces after crossing the mountain, and the moisture holding capacity of the air increases. The leeward side of the mountain gets lesser rainfall, and hence this area is identified as rain shadow area. The effect of monsoon rainfall is important when we think of the Indian subcontinent. We have studied this in the previous standard. The rainfall occurring in India because of these winds is orographic type rainfall. Can you tell? Observe the horizontal profile of Maharashtra and answer the following questions. What type of rainfall occurs in Maharashtra? Where will the rain shadow area lie in Maharashtra? Considering the figure, estimate the rainfall of your district. Discuss. Cyclonic rainfall. Cyclone is the specific air formation when the pressure at an area is less than the surrounding regions. This is called cyclone. Air from the surrounding region comes towards the center of the cyclone and starts moving upwards. As it rises, the temperature of the air reduces, condensation occurs, and rainfall takes place. It rains in areas over which the cyclone passes. Cyclonic rainfall occurs more in temperate zones, and cyclone's area is also quite extensive. Comparatively, cyclonic rainfall occurring in tropical regions is limited in extent and it is stormy in nature. Orographic rainfall occurs in most of the parts in the world. Convectional rainfall is regional in nature. There is a certainty in the convectional rainfall occurring in the equatorial areas. Comparatively, the orographic and cyclonic rainfalls are less certain, and therefore such areas are prone to very heavy rainfall, floods or droughts frequently. Study the rainfall map of the world and answer the following questions. Which region experiences more rainfall? What is the reason for low rainfall in the central peninsular India? Why does the eastern part of the Central African continent get less rainfall than the western part despite its location close to the equator? Why does the amount of high rainfall in the western part of the European continent reduce in the eastern part? Why is the rainfall more only in the eastern coast of Australia? Think about it. Why are the areas of high rainfall situated in tropical areas? Always remember, the factors which affect the amount of rainfall in a region are the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, air pressure, and temperature. The topography and latitudinal position of a place also affects its rainfall. Rain gauge. The instrument that is used to measure rainfall is called rain gauge. The funnel that is used in the rain gauge has a specific diameter. The rain falling in this funnel is collected in a bottle fitted in the gauge. The collected water is then measured with the help of a measuring jar. In areas of heavy rainfall, the reading of the rain is taken every 3 hours. The measuring jar reads in millimeters. The gauge is kept in an open ground on a 30 cm high flat mount. Hence, the rainwater is collected without any obstruction. Do you know? A. How much water does 1 mm of rain mean? If we do not let 1 mm of rain move as runoff, penetrate in the ground or evaporate, then how much water can be accumulated? Let's understand this by an example. If 1 mm rainfall occurs over 1 square kilometer area, then we get 10 lakh liters of water from it. B. How is snowfall measured? Snowfall can also be measured with the help of rain gauge. For this, the container full of snow particles is heated carefully to melt the snow. Then, the water obtained is measured. A layer of 120 mm of ice is equivalent to 10 mm of rainfall. Fog, dew, and frost. When the condensation or solidification of the water vapor in the atmosphere occurs near the Earth's surface, then we can see fog, dew, or frost. The temperature of the layers of the air near the surface of the Earth reduces. As temperature reduces, water vapor condenses. In this process, vapor turns into microscopic water particles and floats in the air. When the density of these droplets in the air increases, fog occurs. When moisture-laden air near the Earth's surface comes into contact with very cold objects, condensation of the vapor takes place. They turn into very small water droplets. These water droplets stick to the surface of the cold objects. This is called dew. If the temperature of the air is less than 0 degrees Celsius, the water droplets stuck to the surfaces of cold objects freeze. This frozen water droplet is called frost. Dew and frost occur on a large scale in winters. Effects of precipitation. The main source of potable water available on the earth is precipitation. As excessive rainfall is destructive, so is the absence of rain. Floods may occur because of heavy rainfall, causing loss of life and property. If precipitation does not take place, then conditions of drought arise. There is a shortfall of food and food may have to be imported. The farmer's condition becomes grave. a country's economy gets affected. The economy of an agrarian country like India is dependent on agriculture. Agriculture in India, to a large extent, is dependent on the monsoons. Hence, the rainfall in India is important to the whole country. A good rainfall at the right time increases crop production, while untimely rain can cause damage to the crops. The rainfall in India is quite erratic. Visibility reduces because of highly dense fog. It affects the means of transportation like roads, railways, waterways, and the airways. Accidents may take place in such conditions. Trains, flights, and other transport services may have to be cancelled. Frost is harmful to crops and causes accidents if spread on the road. Fog and dew damage some crops by spreading diseases, while it may be beneficial to some crops. Acid rain. Because of air pollution in industrial areas, various gases get mixed in the air. Different acids are created when the water vapor in the air reacts chemically with these gases, such as nitric acid, sulfuric acid, etc. Precipitation of water with dissolved acids reaches the ground. Such rainfall is called acid rain. This rain is harmful to living organisms as well as non-living objects. Give it a try. Obtain information regarding the ill effects of acid rain.